inside historic Manual Academy in Peoria, Illinois. It's almost time for a Big 12 boys basketball battle between the Manual Rams and the Richwoods Knights. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Alongside John Camosa, it's Larry Larson in with you, and we're happy you're spending your Friday night with us. And John, anytime two teams from the Big 12, two Peoria rivals get together, there's more on the line than just wins and losses. It has a lot to do with bragging rights, and both teams are going to play hard. Yeah, these two teams met earlier in the season, another close game, but I think we're going to see the same tonight. Larry, both teams really kind of clicking at the right time. Richwood sitting at 11-6, Manual floating right around 500 at 7-8. So these are where both teams at this point in the season want to start to click, as we get closer to the postseason. And this is the game to really make that statement here for both teams to gain that momentum as we go into February here soon. Should be a lot of fun to watch. The JV game did run very long. It started late, so that's why we're a little behind schedule. Apologies for that. John, you mentioned both these teams starting to click at the right time. I think Manual's record is a little deceiving because they've played such a competitive schedule, and they're coming off a game against Vashon, a powerhouse down in St. Louis, and we talked to Coach Coleman before the game, and he said they learned a lot from that contest. Yeah, and especially, going back to December and playing in the Pontiac Holiday Tournament, historic tournament there, went 1-2 there, so had some really good competition, but those are games that you learn from. Manual's really record shouldn't indicate how good this team can be, so they've played some tough competition. I think it's going to show tonight against a really good Richwoods team and see what Manual's capable of. And as for the Knights, we talked to head coach William Smith as well, and he said this team is doing exactly what we expected them to do. They've been working towards this for 4 years. He's got high expectations for this group, and with a record well over 500, they've started to live up to those expectations. Yeah, and I think they've showed that throughout this season. Big win over Peoria High, win over Peoria Notre Dame, so definitely holding their own here in the Big 12 Conference as it gets closer down the stretch. But this is the Richwoods team, as you said, and Coach Smith stated, this team's been building for 4 years, so these players have really developed as seniors now, and this is the chance to, really end their season on a high note. Richwoods and Manual a few minutes away from action here in a Big 12 boys conference battle. Glad you're with us on CSM. Larry Larson, John Camosa in the booth with you. Rodrigo Perez, Joey Wright, Gavin Russell, Jacob Steinberg, Josh Schwam, the rest of our crew. Glad you're spending your Friday evening with us. And John, we talk about the teams as a whole, but coming down to players to watch, first for the homestanding Rams, you go down their roster, a lot of size, a lot of talent, but in my opinion, it starts with the 6'4 junior guard, Justin Page. Yeah, Justin Page has really developed even since last season. He's a catalyst for this Rams team. Coach Coleman stated they don't really have a go-to guy. He said they have 4 or 5 guys any given night that can score double figures for him, but Justin Page, it all starts with that guard. He's really the facilitator and playmaker out on the floor, so they're going to have to run their offense through him here and get things going. As for Richwoods, I think you turn towards a player who had a breakout junior season last year, number 22 in black and green, Jamauri Winfrey. Yeah, as on the opposing side there, Coach Smith stated he's getting his legs back under him finally. He said he's got midseason legs, so he's really, let these games wear him down, but he's been playing so good recently, so he's definitely a guy that Richwoods has stepped up and played to that caliber. So this is a Richwoods team, just like Manual. It doesn't just rely on Winfrey. They got a lot of other guys on this roster that can score as well. That's one thing that both coaches emphasized, as you mentioned, is that balance for Manual. I mean, outside of Page, you look at Cameron Causey, a 6'5 senior who stepped up at moments. Idius Robertson is a huge post presence at 6'7". And for Richwoods, they've got guys that can fill it up as well in the starting lineup as well as off the bench. Yeah, that's the key thing here for both teams as we see that when they shift over to their bench play. It's a very deep team, both sides. So we're going to see some guys that kind of step up and surprise us off the bench. Michael Warmer for Richwoods, a nice, really good shooter there, guy to keep an eye on as well. Looks like the national anthem is now moments away here at Manual Academy. We'll step aside for that in a moment as the public address announcer welcomes a limited crowd into the gym. We will step aside for the national anthem. Be back in a moment. That was a wonderful pre-recorded rendition of the national anthem, and now it's time for the starting lineups. Moments away from action between Manual and Richwoods in a Big 12 battle. Glad you're with us on Clutch Sports Media. A little bit of a delayed start, but we're glad you've stuck around. It should be a good one. The first game this season between these two teams was a great one, John Camosa, back on December 8th, and Manual took that one 76-71, and that was over in the dungeon, so to speak. So Richwoods with revenge on their minds tonight.
Yeah, and you look at that score, 76-71, high-scoring game. Both teams like to push the tempo and keep a quick pace, so we could see another game here in the high 60s or 70s tonight if both teams really get their offenses going, but it should definitely have a good one in store for us tonight.
There you saw the Richwood starting lineup introduced. Let's get that to you here. Javon Brewer starts it out, a 5'8 senior guard, followed by Carlos Beck, a 5'10 senior guard. Number 13, Jalen Brown, a 6'2 senior guard, also gets the starting nod. The aforementioned Jamauri Winfrey is in the starting lineup as well, number 22 in black. And it's rounded out by the big man in the middle, 6'5 senior forward, Jeremiah Welch. Those are the Knights. These are the Rams, and their home whites being introduced right now. It starts with Devontae Burse, a 5'10 senior guard. Justin Page, we talked about him at the top of the show, a 6'4", 150-pound junior guard, can really fill it up. Donald Wilson, a senior who stepped up, according to head coach Willie Coleman, also gets a starting nod. Cameron Causey, 6'5 senior guard, and Idius Robertson, a 6'7 senior forward, round it out for the Rams. And John, on paper, Manual has the size advantage, and as we transition to keys to the game before we get tipped off, they got to capitalize on that.
Yeah, definitely use that size and control the boards down low in the paint. Talked with Coach Willie Coleman about that. That's something that they want to do, able to control this game with that size advantage and win that rebounding battle tonight.
It's Robertson against Welsh, and it's won by the Rams, and we're underway. Friday night basketball on Clutch Sports Media. Glad you're with us. First shot of the game is short from Robertson, and Richwood snares the board, nearly a turnover, but Javon Brewer chases it down.
Yeah, couldn't get that one to go, but showing early on using that size down low, the mismatch.
Brewer to the inside, shifty on the dribble, denied the paint by Burse. Here's Beck, blocked from behind by Donald Wilson, and that's the play that Coach Coleman has come to expect from his senior guard. He said he's really stepped up this season, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, it's one thing that he expects out of him each night is to really give it his all, and he showed that right there early with the block. It's a strong defensive player here for the Rams.
Brewer over to Welsh. Back up top, Brewer, and now Beck. In case you're just joining us, we just got underway here at Manual Academy, a slightly delayed start from the originally scheduled 6:30. Runner in the paint is off from Brewer, but the stick back goes down for Welsh, and the scoring is underway. And it looks like Manual stepped on the baseline, so Richwoods is going to have a chance to make it an early run.
A chance here for Richwoods on this possession, take a quick lead. Go up 4, potentially 5 with the 3.
Quick pop to the outside for the Knights. Jalen Brown walks it up. I assume of no relation to Boston Celtic Jalen Brown. Another inside look and a nice move from Welsh. He's got all 4 for the Knights.
Larry, we talked about Manual size. Jeremiah Welch at 6'5", showing his dominance down low early to match up with these Rams.
Cameron Causey walks it up. Now it's Page, hounded by Beck. Wilson back to Causey. Page on the inside, swarmed a little bit. Good find to Robertson, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
That's that court vision from Justin Page right there, able to find Robertson under the basket. Good look there. Chance to get back, cut this lead to 2 if he can make both.
Foul there on Carlos Beck, his first, team's first. And Robertson is off on the first. Last year, John, we saw a lot of the Manual Rams, especially down the stretch of the season, and Idius Robertson was really so dominant in the paint. You know, I think of the Big 12 conference tournament where he had some nice games, but Manual didn't make the finals. The runner is off from Welsh, but the putback goes down, and it's 6-0 in favor of the Knights. 6-0 Winfrey, or rather Welsh, over the Rams.
That's 6 straight points there from Jeremiah Welch. All down in the post, looking really good so far.
Manual could sure use a bucket. Devontae Burse. And bounce to Donald Wilson. Robertson double teamed in the post. Goes up with it anyways, is off. Battles for the rebound, and a jump ball is called. And not only is Welsh getting it done on the offensive end, but great defense there on Robertson.
Yeah, matching up well with Idius Robertson. 6'7", 250 pounds, so really big frame there for the Manual Rams center, but Welch right now down low, holding his own.
Ball bounces out off of Causey. So Beck will inbound. Chance to make it an 8-0 run, or possibly 9-0 to start the game for the Knights. Brewer around a screen. Dish down low to who else but Welch, and he'll go to the free throw line.
And always tough to play a game in the conference on the road, especially at Manual, or they're notorious for winning here. So this is big. If Richwoods can jump out to an 8-0 lead, this is the start that Coach Smith would want for his team.
Foul there on Idius Robertson, his first. The first free throw rattles in for Welch. Welch, certainly the early story, the 6'5" senior forward, scoring all the points for the Knights. Trying to avenge an early season loss against these Rams back on their home court in December. Manual in some trouble trying to break the press, and it's turned over. Beck lays it in for the easy 2, and it's 9-0 just like that.
Richwood's looking really good offensively, but stepping up big time on defense as well, forcing a couple turnovers. That one leads to a basket in transition.
Causey turns it over. Brewer to Beck. Another lay-in. It's 11-0, and the Rams burn a timeout.
How big is that, Larry? Taking an 11-0 lead, 3 minutes into this ball game. All the momentum with Richwoods right now.
A 30-second timeout, and John, it's very rare to see any coach burn a timeout before that first quarter mask timeout, but not the case here for head coach Willie Coleman, and I think this is a timely timeout. You needed to try and stop that momentum eventually.
Yeah, and trying to slow things down. You know, I think once Manual can get on the board, it might start to flow a little bit. But right now, Richwoods has held Manual scoreless for nearly 3 minutes while taking that 11-0 lead. So that's big for the Knights coming here on the road, making a quick statement.
You see that energy in their huddle. They're fired up. Manual probably a little bit of a different tone on their side of things. Limited attendance tonight at Manual. That explains the folded up bleachers behind the benches and a little extra space between the players. Each player was allowed to put some folks, friends or family on their list, but that's it. These bleachers high above the court are the only set of bleachers folded out tonight. But of course, anybody can watch here on Clutch Sports Media. Manual trying to snap a drought to start the game, and Page does just that with a 15-footer.
Nice pull-up jumper there from Page, getting the Rams back on the board.
Here's Winfrey, the finger roll. Everything falling for the Knights. Page walks it up, guarded by Carlos Beck. Burst back to Page, open for the triple. Too strong, rebound, volleyballed around, layup short from Donald Wilson, and it's going the other way.
Richwood's caught a big break there. Winfrey couldn't corral that rebound. Manual gets it right back for the open layup, just can't convert. Now the Knights have possession again. But Larry, we talked about Manual with that size down low, and out of these 13 points, Richwoods is predominantly getting it done right in the post.
which is surprising to see. Not the start we expected, perhaps. Richwood's got things started with an 11-0 run. Winfrey buries it from the corner.
It's a do-it-all player there for Richwoods. Winfrey can get it done. In the low post, he can shoot it behind the arc.
16-2 start for the Knights, and another turnover for the Rams. Look at Richwood's bench. They are fired up. Michael Wolmer checks in and Jalen Brown checks out. That takes us to the masked timeout.
Your coach William Smith, you got to like where your team's at right now. Doing it both offensively and defensively. It's a quick start for Richwoods.
And obviously, John, first 7 points of the game scored by Jeremiah Welch, but now you start to see the balance coming into play for the Knights. Carlos Beck with 4 points and Jamauri Winfrey with 5.
Yeah, they're a well-balanced team. I think, like Manuel, when we talked with Coach Coleman, they don't rely on one guy. They got multiple guys that can score. Same goes for Richwoods. We keyed in on Winfrey, but a lot of other guys have stepped up so far, and it's pretty balanced.
As for Manuel, the only 2 points belonging to Justin Page. What a start for Richwoods, especially on the road. And John, of course, not a full atmosphere tonight at Manual, and that probably plays a little bit to the advantage of the visiting Knights. But regardless, on the road, it's not often you get a start like this.
Yeah, this is probably what Coach is saying in the huddle. You know, keep your foot on the gas here. This isn't a team in Manual that you want to slow the pace down. They can get right back in a game in a hurry. So if you're Richwoods, you got to continue to keep up with what you're doing. That high tempo defense and offense right now is working for the Knights. So.
And again, high tempo, not exactly what you expect from Richwoods. We talked to Coach Smith before the game, and he said, we don't want it to be a track meet, but that faster pace has worked for them. Michael Wolmer will inbound. Manuel brings the full court press, as they tend to. And Markel Newsom takes it up before Brewer will orchestrate the offense. Newsom quick on the dribble. Picks it up. And it's Winfrey. Now Wolmer. He's a good shooter, and he traveled, double dribble rather. Pretty easy call for the officials, and we'll see if the Rams can build on it. Trailing by 14 early. Sub comes in for the Knights. Jared Jackson subs in. Javon Brewer to the sideline.
So Emmanuel can get going here on this possession, see if they elect to work it in the low post or try to play for an outside shot.
Robertson in the high post to Page on the back cut. He's in trouble. And the ball is loose, and it'll stay with the Rams. Page had a little bit of a look on the back cut there, but just could not grab the basketball quick enough. He lobs it out to Robertson. Big man shows off the handles, but again, he's swarmed.
And they know he's a force down low. They quickly put the double team on Robertson.
Burst dances on the dribble. Wilson down low to Robertson. Goodness gracious, third time's a charm there for me. And the block keeps it here on this side. Burst scans the floor, gets it just over the reach of Jared Jackson. If you're Manuel, you really need some points here before the second quarter.
Definitely do, and there's another turnover. Richwood's defense looking stellar so far.
One of the best starts we've seen so far this season from any team. Jackson, 6'2" sophomore, into Womer in the corner. And a whistle as Jackson tried to drive. That one will be against Causey. That's his first. Carry on Farrell, a 6'5" senior, checks in, and Devontae Burst checks out. Manuel playing the significantly larger lineup, especially now that Burst is on the sidelines. All their players 6'2" or taller.
Yeah, Manuel with the size advantage, but right now Richwood's not intimidated by that. with an 18-2 lead.
Winfrey far from intimidated, knocks down the runner. He's got 7 tied for the game high. Whistle before the shot, and it's a charge.
And going back to your point there, Larry, we've seen a lot of basketball this season. That's the best start that I've seen so far.
An 18-2 start for Richwoods in the first quarter isn't over yet. That's the second foul on Causey. Puts him on the sideline. And Willie Coleman sends in Dietrich Richardson. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, which has been rather forgettable for the Rams. Richwoods not so much. Newsom dribbles in a circle. Quick trigger 3 falls short for Greg Burnside. Manuel jets ahead in transition. Robertson at the top of the key. Good dish down low, and the finish in and out. Second time's a charm for Carry-On Farrell, who picks up some bench points.
Great look there from Robertson. Couldn't get the first one to fall. It gets his own rebound. Robertson, a facilitator out there too, showing his handles.
He's got great coordination for a big man. Pass down low. Layup too strong off the glass for Welsh. Chance for Manuel to continue a little bit of momentum before the end of the first quarter. Justin Page walks it up. He's got one of Manuel's 2 buckets. Drives the dish and the English off the window for Farrell.
Back-to-back buckets there from Farrell, and Manuel trying to sneak back into this game.
Certainly a lot of basketball left. A slow start doesn't mean you lose. No whistle, a lot of contact. Womer thought about the step back, and Richwoods will reset. Welsh scored the first 7 points of the game. Hands off to Neeson. 5'9" junior guard picked up by Page with 20 seconds. Neeson in trouble. Got it back out to Jackson before he traveled.
Well, after giving Manuel 2 straight buckets to get into with a little more momentum, it looks like Richwoods might elect to hold for the last shot here.
Sabri Quadum checks in, and Welch heads to the bench. Jalen Brown also subbed out in favor of Greg Burnside, and he'll do the inbounding. Richwoods into the backcourt with under 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Neeson looking for room on the perimeter. Drives inside, looking for space. The shot from Burnside well short, and the tip didn't get out in time from Jared Jackson. What a start for the Richwoods Knights on the road. After one, they lead 18-6. And how about a quick word from our sponsors at Uftring.
Upgrade to 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive during Uftring's Traction for All sales event. With new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound, plus fresh trades and pre-owned for every budget. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back into Manuel. A hot start for the Richwoods Knights has them ahead of Manuel, 18-6 in a Big 12 boys basketball battle. Larry Larson, John Camosa in with you. Thanks for joining us. And John, not to understate our expectations for Richwoods, but I don't think you expect anybody to come into Manuel and have a start like the Knights had. They started with an 11-0 run.
Yeah, it was big. They forced some turnovers, got some baskets in transition, and really dominated that low post. It all started with Jeremiah Welch scoring 7 straight points. Richwood's making that statement early, still holding on to that 18-6 lead. Manuel looking to try to close that, or I should say open that door a little bit and get back into this game.
Manuel definitely settled in a little bit at the end of the first quarter. And what do the Rams have to do to try and chip into that deficit more?
Yeah, I would say, you got to win that rebounding battle. Right now, Richwoods is really kind of taking advantage of that end and tried to get that ball in the low post, but Richwood's defense has really stepped up and swarmed Robertson.
Richardson lost the handle, but it'll stay here. Out off of Quantum. And Farrell scans the floor. And has Shaquille Thomas. Looking for Robertson, and it's batted away. Another turnover ahead to Womer, and he's stuffed from behind by Farrell. What a chase down block for Carrion Farrell.
Another turnover for Manual leads to a play in transition for the Knights. That one's going to be denied.
Quantum also denied, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. Trying to extend that lead back up past 12. And in case you're just joining us, Richwood started the contest with an 11-0 run. Second matchup of the season between these two teams. Manual took the first over at Richwoods. Quantum's second free throw. Rattles in and out. So a good foul for the Rams. Farrell in some trouble in the backcourt, and it's yet another turnover into the hands of Womer. Quantum in the post. Shot fake, and the shot finish.
How about Richwoods? Really coming out, making that statement early.
Looking like a football score early on. 21-6 in favor of the Knights. Off the miss, Jackson lost the handle. Nearly runs into the hallway.
Just a little too quick in transition, loses the handle on that one.
Fan shouts, take care of the ball, White. I think that's probably something that head coach Willie Coleman is thinking as well. Causey, crossover at the high wing, and he lost it. More good defense from Richwoods, and another turnover.
And anytime you turn it over against Richwoods, they can make you pay. If you're Manual, you got to try to limit those turnovers.
Jared Jackson looking for Quantum in the post. Double teamed, finds the open man, and Burnside finishes.
Quantum off the bench, really doing it all right now. Nice basket from him, followed up by a nice assist to push that Richwoods lead to 23-6.
Page is fouled on the drive. Not many fouls in this one. Second team foul against Richwoods, 5 against Manual. Line change substitutions for Richwoods. New 5 comes in. Winfrey, Welsh back in alongside Brewer, and back starting 5 for Richwoods. Jalen Brown rounds it out. Donald Wilson dances on the dribble. Back up top to Causey. He's been quiet early. He's got 2 fouls, back in playing. Duran traps. Down low, and the shake and bake for Donald Wilson goes down.
Really nice bucket inside there from Wilson. The up and under splits the defense. Those are the type of baskets Manual's going to want to have here to cut back into this.
Welsh in the corner. Good pass. And the lay-in off the window from Winfrey. He's got a game-high 9 points. Manual with no answers. Causey from way downtown. Perhaps can get something going for Manual. That was a deep 3. And there's a whistle away from the basketball against Richwood. So the Rams with an opportunity to pick up some more momentum.
Let's see if it can add to that momentum after that big 3 from Causey. They need an answer, and the senior steps up, gives it to him. Just like that, Manual inching their way back into this game.
Causey to the rack, and he traveled. He can't believe it. He was looking for Farrell at the right block from the left block. Just took one too many steps. 25-11 in favor of the visitors. Richwoods and Manual, Big 12 Peoria rivals. Jalen Brown turns it over, was looking for Welch in the post. Good play by Winfrey to knock it loose from Causey, but he recovers. Page, the drive, good dish down low to Robertson, and 1.
Talked about those key plays for Manual. Another good look there from Page. They're getting it done in the post. That's what Manual's going to want to continue to do here, just like that. They're right back into this game.
First points of the night from Idius Robertson. Somebody we talked a lot about in the pregame. Missed 2 free throws earlier, knocks that one down to complete the old-fashioned 3. That lead is cut down to 11. But not for long. Response on the and one from Jalen Brown. The foul there is on Causey, and that's his 3rd. Big trouble for Causey here in the first half.
Yeah, just when Richwood sensed that Manuel was getting a little bit of that momentum back, Jalen Brown steps up the big bucket.
He completes the 3-point play. Every single big bucket for Manuel has been responded to by the Knights, maintaining momentum here on the road. They seized the lead early with an 11-0 run to start the game. Page, the runner, not enough touch. Board goes down to Welch. Brewer jets ahead. Back out Brown, and now Brewer again. Brewer, the shifty crossover, finds an open Brown from downtown. It goes down.
It's a really impressive start here from the Knights. There's no slowdown in their offense.
Traps, the runner falls well short. Excellent defense from Richwoods all first half long. Good steal for Manuel. And Traps gets tied up, and he lost it. Now the Knights are going to slow it down. Turnovers costing the Rams in both quarters, John. That's really been the biggest thing so far.
Yeah, Richwood's defense doing a really good job stepping up right now. Turnovers leading to points for the Knights.
Welch in the post. Robertson sends it away. Knights reset. Brewer inside. Baseline J is a bit off from Brown. Perhaps a heat check for him. And Robertson comes down with a strong rebound.
See if Manuel has an answer here. I don't want to get in too big of a hole at halftime.
Page, the off-balance runner, rattles out. He knew that was close. Claps his hands as he gets back on defense. A frustrating game for Page and the Rams so far. Next dead ball will be the masked timeout. Clock has run a lot under the 4-minute mark. Dish down low, and a hammer for Jeremiah Welch. What a first half for the senior.
Two-handed flush there with authority. Chance to complete the 3-point play and just keep the Knights rolling.
That takes us to the masked timeout and a quick word from our sponsor at Uftring.
It's Uftring's Traction for All sales event with the 4-wheel and all-wheel drive trucks and SUVs you need for winter driving. Interest rates are at record lows and trade values are at historic highs. Plus, changes to the trade tax law means you'll get your full tax credit at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back inside Manual Academy. All Richwoods over the Manual Rams here in the first half, 33-15. And a Big 12 conference matchup led by 9 points from Jeremiah Welch. And in case you missed it, rewind the broadcast. You got to see that two-handed slam and one for Welch. Getting up, getting the Richwoods crowd on its feet here on the road.
Yeah, their offense has been very spread out too. Out of these 33 points, we've seen them bury some three-pointers. Saw a ferocious dunk there from Welch. Seen some great baskets in transition, and then also some nice putbacks down in the low post. So Richwood's really showing it all right now on offense.
Richwoods with a longer huddle than Manual here in this masked timeout. What do you think the message was for Manual during that break?
I think for Manual saying, cut back into this lead a little bit. Not a whole lot of time here. Try to put that defensive pressure on Richwoods. And for the Knights in their huddle, I think Coach Smith is saying, we want to continue to add to this lead going into halftime. You got to be pretty comfortable where you're at right now, but I'm sure he wants to add a little bit more here on the road.
Welch to the free throw line for one more after that slam. Can't finish the three-point play. Under 2.5 minutes to go for Manual to try and build up some momentum. Donald Wilson swims his way inside, but can't finish.
Richwood's just doing a great job of disrupting shots down there. Manual trying to get it to go. They're getting really good looks to the bucket, just can't convert.
Javon Brewer. Back out. And it's Neeson. Drives and all that shake and bake, but no dinner. Tristan White passes ahead to Traps. White thought about the three. Passes out of the post, and it's another turnover. Jared Jackson in transition gets the friendly roll through the contact.
Out of nearly every turnover that we've seen from Manual has led to a bucket for the Knights. And that's one thing that's really hurt the Rams so far in this game.
It's a 21-point lead with under 90 seconds to go in the opening half. Page lobs down low, a little bit too far out of the reach of Donald Wilson. John, the thing that gets me for Richwoods is not all their buckets, and in fact, most of their buckets have not been easy. Manual's not making it easy for them, but the execution for the Knights has been remarkable.
Yeah, a lot of their shots, you know, despite the ones that were in transition, unguarded, but a lot of their shots in the low block, the threes they've knocked down, they've been very contested by the Rams, so credit to Richwoods for battling through.
Burnside can't get the roll, and Winfrey is swatted away. Here come the Rams in transition. Traps comes up short, but the tip falls. That one out of the hands of Farrell. He's got 6 points to lead the Rams.
It's a good sequence there for Manual. Great play on defense, leads to a bucket on the other end.
Rams looking for any positives before the end of the half. Winfrey, the hook shot, making it look easy.
Talked about Manual's defense, another good contest there, but Winfrey able to shoot it up and over.
Page kicks, three from Traps, is off the mark. That one out of the hands of Gerald Traps. Under 20 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Knights can hold for the final shot if they want, leading by 21. Brewer tipped away. Tolliver, bounce pass ahead to Traps, off balance, gets it to fall. And that's how the first half ends. Richwoods heads to the locker room with a 19-point lead on the road over their city rival Manual.
Really great first half from Richwoods, and what looked like Richwoods holding for the last shot there. Misses the layup. Manual able to convert on the other end. But still, Richwoods has really shown their dominance here in the first half. Manual got to make some adjustments here and limit those turnovers after a halftime break.
Richwoods lost the first matchup between these two teams back in December. They don't want to let it happen again here at Manual Academy. We'll step aside for a halftime break, break down some of the stats in this one, but for now, it's Richwoods 37, Manual Rams 18 at the half. You're watching Clutch Sports Media. Coming out of the halftime break at Manual Academy with the Richwoods Knights on top of the Manual Rams 37-18. Thanks for joining us on your Friday night on ClutchSportsIL.com. Alongside John Camosa, it's Larry Larson in with you alongside the rest of our team. And John, Richwood started the game on an 11-0 run and really never looked back. And it's really been due to the dominance of two players. Of course, it's been a full team effort, but Jamauri Winfrey with 11 points and Jeremiah Welch with 9.
Yeah, Jeremiah Welch really asserting his dominance down low. They've gotten a lot of points right in that low block. Also doing a good job of forcing a lot of turnovers, getting the ball and scoring in transition. So for Manual, we'll see if they can limit these turnovers here in the second half and cut back into this deficit.
Richwood starts with the basketball in their road blacks. They lost the first matchup of the season between these teams by about 6 points back in December, and they don't want to let that happen again as Winfrey picks up where he left off. He's got 13.
And if you're Richwoods wanting to add to that first half momentum, scoring first here out the gates in the second half, that's how you do it.
Dish from Traps over to Page. Tough jumper. Spins out. Rebound loose. Bodies hitting the floor like dominoes. And a jump ball is called.
That's the thing too, Larry. Even being down as much as they are, the Rams have had some really good looks and opportunities to score, just a couple of shots that haven't fell.
Justin Page will inbound for the Rams. It's just been one of those nights, John. You mentioned it. It's been tough sledding. Page lobs into the backcourt to Donald Wilson. You look at the big names for Manual. Justin Page, he's only got 2 points. Idius Robertson, he's only got 3. Causey only has 3. Carryon Farrell leads the Rams with 6 points off the bench. And there's another turnover. That's what haunted them in the first half.
Yeah, that's not what Coach Coleman wants to see out of the Rams, starting second half with another turnover only a minute in. You're talking about Robertson, too, a player that's really their go-to guy down low, but Richwood's putting a lot of defensive pressure on him, limiting his touches while he's only got those 3 points.
Brewer trapped in the corner, lobs out of it to Beck. A reverse over to Winfrey, and he lost it. Causey passes ahead, and it's Wilson. He'll slow it down. We've seen Manual in this half-court offense a lot tonight as Page can't hit from the corner. Rebound goes down to Robertson, making that mistake again, and he's fouled. Robertson. Strong rebound there. Keeps the basketball on this end. Foul there on Beck, his second.
And Coach Coleman not happy on the sidelines there. A couple miscommunication plays by his offense, or I should say from his defense.
Manual can't capitalize on the second chance. Beck kicks over. Brown comes up short, but the putback goes down for Winfrey. He's up to 15. What a performance from Jamauri Winfrey. Manual needs something. And before the shot, 30-second timeout taken by Willie Coleman.
And Larry, we'd have to go back and look throughout the years, but I don't remember a game as lopsided as this with Richwoods and Manual, especially from the Richwood side, but really showing their dominance here on the road.
Of course, Manual, a powerhouse program in Peoria, and you can say the same for Richwoods, but you got to turn back the clock a little bit further. But of course, both these teams, they've found success at the state level, and these are school names you recognize when you talk to people about high school basketball outside the Peoria area. Of course, Manual famous for its four-peat back in the 90s. Trying to get that program back to those heights. Manual made that state trip back in 2019, a bit of an upset. Robertson was looking for the foul there and didn't get it. Manual, I think, has a lot to learn. I think every player, as well as head coach Willie Coleman, would tell you that.
That's another great defensive play there from Welch to disrupt Robertson. Not give away the easy basket.
Back against Page. Up top, Winfrey. Back to Brewer. Back cut, Brown rattles home.
All gas, no brakes right now for the Knights. They haven't slowed down a bit since the halftime break.
43-18, absolute domination at Manual Academy tonight. To the shock of many, including me, I'll go as far to say that. Donald Wilson finishes down low. He's got 4 points, and Manual finally hits 20 points.
Yeah, the Knights really finding their stride right now, and they can close this one out, try to get this big road win, really add to the momentum that they've been having.
Beck's scoop shot doesn't fall. Jerron Traps walks it up, pulls up from 15, and his jumper is off. Second chance, 3 from Wilson, too strong. Second offensive board from Robertson. How about a third try? It's the charm as Traps gets in the scoring column with a 3. Beck turns it over. Page jets ahead through contact, gets the finish.
Manual trying to find a little window to crawl through here and cuts it back to 18.
Well, John, I gotta say there's plenty of time left as Page comes out with a steal, gets to the bucket, and draws the foul.
We talked about him before the game started here. Justin Page really being that floor general, that leader for the Rams. Right now getting some big plays for Manual here. Chance to go to the line and get 2 more.
Justin Page, a player that had a big summer season for Manual and a few summer events they played in. But head coach Willie Coleman told us he's put a lot of pressure on himself this season. He's got high expectations for himself as well as his team. There's a feature on him in the Peoria Journal-Star for the start of the season. And he said he's got state expectations every year for this program because that's the tradition. It's a culture here at Manual. There's an expectation of winning, and Page definitely takes that to heart.
Yeah, he does, and showing that leadership out here. Look at the Rams, though.
Wilson dishes down low to Causey, and he lays it in. Here comes Manual. They're not dead yet, folks. Don't turn this one off quite yet. A lot of basketball left. Brewer, good ball movement, and the floater goes down for Winfrey just when the Knights needed it.
Yeah, right out of the gate in the second half, Richwood's really taking control, but Manual starting to find their footing a little bit here and turn this back into a game.
Traps dancing on the dribble. Feels like the Rams got to continue this momentum. They want to sneak back into it. But again, especially at the pace they play, plenty of time left. They turn it over again. Brewer in some trouble in the backcourt, but recovers.
How about that defensive effort from Traps there? Never gave up on that play. Almost forces a turnover.
Timeout taken by Richwoods. And that's the third quarter mask timeout. So it'll be a prolonged break for the Knights. Probably a good timeout. That stretch there, Joko, was probably the only stretch of the game where it felt like the Rams were in control.
Yeah, it all started with the turnovers too. They forced the Knights some turnovers, getting some baskets in transition. Cutting into this a little bit, but we'll see what they can do after this timeout. Not out of it yet.
But again, they got to keep up that pace of play. And do you think that's the key for Manual, continuing to really push the pace and maybe draw some steals and transition buckets?
Yeah, putting that pressure on them in the backcourt there, forcing turnovers can lead to baskets in transition, but that's going to be big down the stretch. We're at the tail end of the third quarter here, going into the fourth soon, so Manual's really got to keep up that defensive pressure if they want to get back into this game.
Third quarter mask timeout here. Richwood's prompting the timeout. About under 3 minutes to go in quarter number 3. And in case you're just joining us, Richwoods started hot out of the gate, just about as hot as you could get. Knights starting with an 11-0 run. Senior forward Jeremiah Welch started by scoring each of the first 7 points to start the contest. And John, you mentioned the term earlier, all gas, no brakes. I think that's a great way to describe the performance tonight by the Knights.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because before the game, We were talking to Coach Smith, and he said they didn't want to get into track meet, but in reality, they've really been running the pace and playing high-tempo offense, but it's worked out great for them.
A little bit of a prolonged delay as the clock resets out of the timeout. We're back underway. Michael Womer inbounds into the backcourt for Markel Neeson. He sets up the offense. Jackson on the drive. Womer looked like he thought about the three. Buddy Jackson dishes down low. Nasty post move, but the fade doesn't fall for Welsh. Traps. Jets ahead, lost the dribble. It's Jarrell Traps on the baseline. Dishes down low to Farrell. Passes back out. Robertson, the big man, hits Causey. Causey against Welsh. Causey stumbles, hits Tolliver. His three rattles in and out. Rebound volleyballed around, out off of the Rams.
Manuel just looking for that big bucket. Had a nice look for a three in the corner there. Can't get it to fall.
Manuel bringing a light press. Knights break it. Jared Jackson, now Buddy Jackson. Jackson, the 5'8" junior guard, in the corner, and he's fouled. But the more that Richwood settles into these half-court sets, you know, the more the clock works against Manuel, and it's not often that you talk about the clock in the third quarter of a game, but that's the case here if the Rams want to come back.
Yeah, they need all the time they can get, but right now we talked about those turnovers. There's another one from Richwood, so Manuel's got to take advantage of these with that clock still running.
Page inbounds to Traps. Guarded by Jackson. He jets past him. Justin Page directing traffic away from the basketball, and now he's got it. Under 90 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. Page from 15 was tipped, but Robertson makes it as good as a pass.
Yeah, great awareness there from Robertson. Able to snag down that rebound, put it back.
That deficit narrowing. Neeson, the Euro step, and he turns it over. Here comes Page. Skip pass ahead to Traps in the corner. Page was open for three, gets inside, tough mid-range look, goes down.
Manuel's really turned it on here in this third quarter. And they're not going away just yet.
Timeout, Richwoods. Manuel trying to pull off an impressive comeback. 40 seconds left in quarter number 3. That lead down to 12, and all of a sudden, John, it feels like a ball game.
Yeah, it does, and now I say all the momentum is with Manuel right now. Just like that, they're back into this game, and now Richwoods, they got to keep playing to their pace that they were playing in the first half. They don't want to let this one get away from them on the road.
Good timeout there from Will Smith. But you can see the energy in Manuel's huddle is definitely picked up. They are sure fired up. Fell down big early in this one. They've trailed by as many as 21. Rams have that lead down to 12. They come out in the full court press. Brewer gets it to Beck, and he gets it across. Ball hits Brown in the face, and then it's another turnover. Manuel could cut the deficit to below 10 with a three. Wilson gets inside. He's blocked. Robertson tips it in, and one.
Just a turn of events there. Something that Manuel was doing a lot of in the first half was turning the ball over. Now Richwoods played a rather clean first half. Now they're starting to turn the ball over a lot here in the third quarter, but Manuel, chance to cut it to single digits.
Robertson could do just that with a free throw. He's 1 for 3 at the stripe tonight. Make it 2 for 4, and the lead is 9. Feels like a brand new ball game. inside the gym at Manual.
And all started with Manual really applying that defensive pressure, forcing turnovers. Paid off for him.
Brewer inside with 4, outside to Winfrey, the runner, halfway down and out. That's how the third quarter ends. Manual roaring back. They've got the lead down to 9. We'll step aside for a quick word from our sponsor, Uftring.
It's Uftring's Traction for All sales event with new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound with 4-wheel and all-wheel drive. For better winter traction, take immediate action. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back inside Manual. Glad you're with us on Clutch Sports Media, and perhaps we've got a wild comeback brewing. In case you're just joining us, Richwoods has led by as many as 21 points, but Manual, with a strong finish to the third quarter, has the lead down to 9. Joko, what have you seen from the Rams that has cut down the deficit?
Yeah, it all starts with that defense in the third quarter. Right at the start there, Richwoods, didn't slow down at all. They continued where they were at in the first half, brought it over into the second half. And about halfway through that third quarter, Manual really clicked, turned it on defensively, starting to force some turnovers, getting in transition, getting some good looks, moving the ball around. And you see, Larry, right in front of us, it's paid off for the Rams. We almost wrote them off at halftime. They've quickly got back into this game, and they're not going away.
Richwood starts the quarter with the basketball, and it feels like they need a bucket to try and get some momentum back. It's really slipped away from them over the last few minutes of game time. Beck trapped in the corner, gets it to Winfrey. Back out Brown, around the horn. Quick triple from Beck, goes down.
And there's the basket that they needed.
Beck with 7 points. That lead back up to 12.
Now you put the pressure back on the Rams a little bit.
Really all it takes is one. Page, a little hesitation pass, jump ball nearly, and the layup rolls around and in. That one out of the hand of Farrell. He's got 8. More pressure from the Rams. Almost a steal. Brewer lost it. Brown kicked it down low. And there, Winfrey lost it. And they're going to say that Manual stepped out on the baseline.
Just had the turnover, and unfortunate break there. Page foot catches the out of bounds line. They want to have that one back.
Page can't believe it. Manual doing everything they can to claw back into this one. Richwoods with an epic first half. Started the game with an 11-0 run. And grew that lead eventually to, I believe it was 21-2 at one point in the first half, led by as many as 21 in the second half. That lead is narrowed down. Richwoods trying to get back control as Brown's 3 is well off. Strong board to Causey.
Chance for Manual to cut it back to single digits here if they can get a basket.
Page against Beck. Page drives inside, scoop shot, not enough spin. Robertson has it tipped away.
Really good look for Page, just couldn't get that one to fall.
Just about 6 minutes and change to go. Brewer passes out to Welsh. Back to Brewer. Rolls around a screen, gets downhill. Almost another turnover. Brown somehow gets the shot to go as he's falling down.
Really tough shot there from Brown.
Robertson tries to respond with his own tough look, somehow gets the rebound back. Causey thought about the 3. Robertson wants it back again. This time he finishes.
Good look back to Robertson down low, gets his feet set down there, able to finish.
The lead is hung around 10 points for the last few minutes. Manual's going to need at least one more run if they want to come back and tie or win this one.
And time's starting to tick here, about 5.5 minutes. They're going to want to cut this to single digits here soon.
Richwood's trying to go wire to wire to even the season series. Winfrey drives, blocked from behind. Wilson walks it up, goes inside, and he's sent away by Brown. Gives him a little stare down as well.
Good defense from the Knights, not giving him anything inside.
Manual's got to hurry, and they eventually get it in. Robertson, now as Jarrell traps in the corner. Causey, deep three, little off. Rebound to Traps, and he's fouled. That three went down. I think the Manual faithful would have been the loudest they've been all night.
Oh, definitely. They were looking for that big shot, but Larry, still a chance here. They could play for a 2 or a big 3 right on this play.
Wilson wants the 2 and converts. Lead down to 8. Closest it's been since the first half.
That's where Manual's going to continue to bring that defensive pressure, not make it easy on Richwoods. They're going to have to earn this win if they want, is what the Rams are saying.
Knights in no rush. They've had the lead all game long. Brewer nearly tripped up. Richwood's playing a game of keep away. Brewer double teamed, passes out of it. Jackson and Brewer playing catch. The lob and the finish from Welsh. A great play for the Knights. First second half bucket for Welsh.
Back to a double-digit lead here for the Knights.
Robertson gets it back down to single digits. He's starting to get going, John.
He is. Showing that dominance down low. The thing is, not a whole lot of time left. That'll help.
There's a steal from Traps and a finish. 52-46. Manual has tightened the screws in this game. And a foul called against Manual. That one against Donald Wilson. And that takes us to our final mask timeout. Before action resumes, here's a quick word from our sponsors at Uftring.
It's Uftring's Traction for All sales event with the 4-wheel and all-wheel drive trucks and SUVs you need for winter driving. Interest rates are at record lows and trade values are at historic highs. Plus, changes to the trade tax law means you'll get your full tax credit at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Richwoods Knights 52, Manual Rams 46. After Richwoods led by as many as 21 points in the second half, the lead is down to 6 for the Knights, who are trying to even the season series at 1 game apiece. Two Big 12 rivals in the city of Peoria going at it tonight, John. In the early goings, it was all Richwoods. It looked like that was going to be the case for the rest of the game by the looks of the start of the third quarter, but the Rams have hung around and then some, all thanks to their defense.
Yeah, this score right here is the indication of the game we thought we were going to see tonight, just a close one, and it's turning into that. That first half was all Richwoods. Kind of took us by surprise a little bit, but right now, Manual's defense has really saved them, got them right back into this game, forcing a lot of turnovers. Richwood's going to want to have to protect the ball here if they want to hold on to this victory.
You see Manual taking a long time in its huddle. Richwood's ready to go after the final mask timeout. Manual hovering right around 500 for the season. Richwood's at 11-6, 3-2 in Big 12 play. Manual at 1-2. Bit of a white knuckler here for the Knights after what looked like was going to be an easy victory. Lomer double teamed in the backcourt. Brewer gets it across to Winfrey. Weaves in and out of traffic. And now every possession for the Knights is probably going to be a little bit of a game of keep away before they take a shot. Under 3 minutes to go. Almost a steal from Traps.
Yeah, this one they can kind of dribble it out.
Timeout taken by Richwoods as Coach Smith felt that Beck was in trouble. Quick 30-second timeout, rather a full timeout. Richwoods drawing something up, but John, I feel like the more delay, perhaps, the more that favors Manual as the pressure is turned up on Richwoods.
Yeah, they're definitely applying that pressure. They're gonna make Richwoods play here. We'll see when they start electing to foul though and make it hard on Richwoods, sending them to the line. You know, at some point, Manual's got to start fouling there.
In case you're just joining us, first of all, thank you, and second of all, it's been a wild ride of a game. Manual looking like a completely different team in the second half than they were in the first half. Turnovers really costing the Rams in a very, very poor start, in which they trailed 18-6 after the first quarter and 37-18 at the half, but they've narrowed the lead down to 6 thanks to some great defense. And we talked to head coach Willie Coleman before the game, and he said, you know, when they went down to St. Louis and played Vashon, they took a double-digit loss, and he said they learned a lot from that game, and that kind of was a wake-up call that they really needed to focus on their defense. He said sometimes they fall into the trap of worrying about scoring just a little bit too much, and I think that's kind of what happened in the first half, but in the second half, they've regrouped.
Yeah, definitely relied on their offense a little too much in the first half. Second half, it's been all defense.
But not there. Winfrey penetrates the defense and gets to 19 points. Richwood's trying to put the ice on this one. Manuel's going to need some big buckets down the stretch. Idius Robertson passes out of the post. Page, a deep three. Got it.
That's big. Page, that leader. Needed him to step up big, and he did just that.
His first three of the night has the lead down to 5. Under 2 minutes. Brewer loses the handle but gets it back. And that's an over and back. Manuel can cut it to 1 possession for the first time since Richwood's opening possession.
I would say all the momentum back with Manuel here. Ball's in their court. They're putting a lot of pressure on Richwoods now to hold on to this very slim lead that they're not used to. They've been up double digits nearly all game. Now they really got to button down.
And you see that in the timeouts taken. Richwoods, when you look inside their huddle, you see Coach Smith in there. He's animated, waving his hands around, looking like he's ready to play defense himself, John.
He is, and he's telling his guys, you know, we had that big lead. I don't want to lose it here. You know, Manuel showing how much fight they have in them, and they're not out of it just yet.
Rams trailed by as many as 21 here in the second half. Richwoods led by 17 points from Jamauri Winfrey. 11 points from Jeremiah Welsh. Manuel's leading scorer. They've got 2 of them. Justin Page with 11 and Idius Robertson with 11. Out of the timeout, Manuel basketball, trying to cut it to a 1-possession game for the first time in a very long time. Page inbounds to Jerron Traps. And here we go. Traps working against Brewer. Has Page. He'll pull up from deep. And it's too strong. Rebound to Winfrey. And a jump ball, and possession favors Manuel. So it'll stay here.
Robertson using that size down low at 6'7", able to get that jump ball for the Rams. Another chance.
Coach Smith has something to say. Looking for a foul call, but did not get it. Now the official discussing something with the scorer's table, and I'm not sure what. The crowd yelling that, or at least some people are yelling that it should be Richwood's ball, but I think there's some confusion with the possession arrow. John, I don't know if you caught what happened.
No, if this somehow gets overturned on an official's call and Richwoods does in fact get the ball, that will kind of put a damper on the momentum there that Manual got, but I don't think they can overrule this call unless there was a discrepancy in the scorebook.
I think what the problem has been is I think the scoreboard read the opposite of what the scorer's table read, but looks like the call is going to be upheld. So Manual will keep the basketball off the jump ball. Just over 90 seconds to play. Manual trying to climb out of a 21-point hole. They've trailed the entire game. Got a chance here to cut it down to one possession. Page needs to inbound, and he does at the last second to Causey. Causey gets downhill, loses possession, but bats it to Page. Up top, Wilson, back to Page.
So we're going to see Richwoods really step up here on defense and see they're putting that pressure on the Rams.
Good defense. Robertson for three, too strong. Rebound out off of Manual. Now Manual's defense is going to have to be really good, and they may have to resort to fouling.
I'd say that's their best case scenario unless they can force another quick turnover.
They'll bring the full court press. Neeson passes out of the double team. Brewer gets past Wilson, and a foul is called. That's Wilson's third personal. Team's third. Ball inbounded to Neeson. And it's poked away. Causey lays out, but he's out on the sideline. Just one heck of an effort from the senior, trying to keep that one in play. That really would have changed the momentum, as the Rams would have had a breakaway, but the Rams instead have to go back on defense, and they'll take a timeout.
Almost had that. That would have been the play of the night, saving that loose ball, which would lead to a transition basket. Just couldn't stay in bounds, but see if Manual can try to force a turnover, but you would think they would foul here in this situation.
30-second timeout. Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Been one heck of a basketball game when it looks like it wasn't going to be very entertaining in the second half, John. I thought maybe we would have to break out some filler content, but that has not been the case whatsoever. Manual roaring back from a 21-point deficit. They've trailed the entire way, but still an uphill battle here in the closing minutes. Jackson will inbound out there with Neeson, Brown, Winfrey, and Brewer. Brown gets it across. Richwoods will play some keep away. Jackson in and out of traffic, and it's batted away, but again, out off of Manual. John, if you're a Richwoods fan, you're probably real nervous right now because Manual's getting their hands all over the basketball.
Yeah, they are. They haven't fouled just yet, but they're really making it tough on Richwoods.
Brewer in trouble, and he turns it over. Wilson into the paint. Scoop shot. That's a block. He'll go to the line for two.
Turn of events there. Richwoods, Manual didn't have to foul. Ends up getting a turnover. Things are heating up, Larry.
If Manual can complete this comeback, it'll be one of the wildest games we've seen this year. We saw one heck of a comeback by the Washington Panthers last week on their home floor. That one felt a little different. It was close the whole game, but Washington scoring 10 points in the final minute to come back and win that one. And the first free throw misses from Wilson at a juncture of the game where you can't afford to miss any free throws.
Yeah, free throws are huge, especially with only 38 seconds left. See if he can knock this one in.
Wilson's first trip to the line tonight, and he goes 0 for 2, scrapping for the rebound. And a foul is called, no jump ball. And now we've got a little bit of scrapping. Got to be careful if you're Manual, cannot afford any sort of technical foul. Things starting to get a little scrappy down there as the game intensifies. But for Manual, now you're really going to need, I wouldn't say a miracle, but something close.
Yeah, you know they're going to have to foul here. 34 seconds. Not a whole lot of time to try to force a turnover. You got to start fouling.
Richwoods breaks the press. Brown across the timeline. 26 seconds left and a timeout taken by Richwoods. That lead has stayed at 5 for at least the last minute or so. Both teams going scoreless. For Manual, it felt like they really had to capitalize on that free throw, and Wilson went 0 for 2, and that could be costly.
Yeah, it could be the difference there. Richwood's trying to hold on to this slim lead. Manual had a couple opportunities there, just couldn't capitalize, but now Richwoods has to feel like this is their game to lose.
Richwoods arguably has been their game to lose since the first half, John, starting the game on an 11-0 run and eventually growing their lead to 21 in the first half, as well as a 21-point halftime lead. But Manual has had a fantastic second half. But is it all for naught? We'll find out here in a few minutes. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. Richwoods has fouled 5 times. Manual has fouled 4 times in the second half. Neither team in the bonus yet. Jared Jackson will inbound from right in front of the Richwoods bench. And it's a turnover. What a play from Traps to keep it in. Far from over. Wilson, quick 3. He got it. How about that for redemption? It's a 2-point game. The clock runs. Richwoods inbounds, and a timeout taken by the Knights, their final timeout.
Wilson, who previously missed those 2 free throws, makes up for it in a big way with that 3-pointer. Rams not out of it yet.
It's a 1-possession game for the first time since the opening minute of the contest. Manual's trailed by as many as 21. Could be an incredible comeback in the works. Donald Wilson with 9 points. Justin Page with 11. Idius Robertson with 11. And John, if it gets to this point, under 15 seconds to go here, Manual gets the ball back with a shot either for the win or for the tie. First of all, do you take the shot for the win or for the tie? And second, who takes it?
Yeah, I'd probably play for the tie. You got to like your chances in overtime there. It's an easier shot, but I'm looking at Justin Page to try to get to the basket. That or Idius Robertson down low, who's been really solid for them. One of your go-to guys who's really been the leader tonight.
Incredible second half after it was all Richwoods in the first half. Knights inbound, they get it in, back in trouble on the baseline. Manual gets it back, and it's a tie game. 54-54, shot for the win, no. Tip at the buzzer, he got it. No basket. The officials wave it off. Causey didn't get it off in time. Doesn't count.
So they're going to go to overtime.
The officials initially waved it off, and that remains the call, and we are going to overtime. What a play by Jerron Traps to get the basketball back off the inbounds. Tips it in just in the nick of time, and for the first time since 0-0, we are tied.
I can honestly say we've seen it all. We've seen Richwoods go on this incredible run to take a double-digit lead. See Manual come all the way back to cut this to 2, get a big steal on an inbounds, and then almost have the game winner called waved off. And now we're going to overtime.
One of the craziest high school basketball games you will ever see. It is so rare to see a 20-point comeback, but that is the case for the Manual Rams. Richwoods led by as many as 21, and now we're going to OT. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, this game is in a first half that Richwoods really was in full control, to a second half where Manual was inching away. Some huge plays down the stretch where Manual didn't really have, they were fouling, but they didn't send the Knights to the free throw line. They were able to force some turnovers and almost back-to-back steals there from Donald Wilson to end it. And Causey just couldn't get that one off in time, but chance for the Rams to try to put this one away in overtime.
Manual wins the tip, and they're looking for their first lead of the game. What better time to take it than overtime? Cameron Causey against Winfrey. Into the corner. Jerron traps, buries the three, and Manual has the lead for the first time tonight.
Now this is where Manual wants to step up. That defensive pressure that they've shown this entire second half, all the pressure is back on the Knights now after having that big lead vanish.
Brown down low. Welsh can't drop it in. Second chance. He's fouled. Welsh had a huge first half, scored the first 7 points of the game, but scored just 2 points in the second half. Now he goes to the line in OT. Trying to turn it back to a 2-point game. First free throw is off. All the energy in the building right now in favor of Manual. Welsh goes 0 for 2, rebound loose into the hands of Farrell.
Manual, if they could score again, this would be their biggest, well, their only lead so far and the biggest lead of the night for them.
Page dancing around. Rams in no rush. Jerron traps. Had that tip to tie it in the final 10 seconds. Lobbed around for the Rams. Donald Wilson was a hero as well down the stretch. Foul called there against Javon Brewer.
I think the biggest takeaway from this game so far is turnovers. There we can see how they drastically impact the game. Manual turned the ball over a lot in the first half, which led to a big lead for Richwoods. And vice versa, Richwoods turns the ball over in the second half. Now Manual right back into this game after trailing by nearly 22 points.
Foul called there rather on Beck. Lob down low to Page. It's a sloppy pass. And the Knights have a chance to get it back down to 1 or a tie. Richwoods has not shot the three very much at all tonight. Brown does. He's off. Second chance. Too strong from Welsh. And Robertson rips away the board, chucks it ahead, finds Page. Page, spin cycle. Blocked from behind. And it'll stay here as the rebound gets knocked away.
Kind of a football pass there from Robertson. Page able to get there in a hurry and corral it.
Page inside. Robertson will go to the free throw line. John, in the first half, you couldn't possibly imagine this scenario. Richwoods with a huge lead. They squander it, and now Manual has a chance to go up 2 possessions in overtime. Robertson to the free throw line.
Completely different Manual team here in the second half, and they've really shown their dominance.
Robertson up to 12 points. Manual lead up to 4. I know one analytic that's used a lot in basketball today, or sports in general, is kind of win probability. And of course, we don't have that at the high school level, but I'd love to see it for this game. What a dramatic swing it's been.
One thing that Coach Willie Coleman said about his Rams, they always fight. And even being down as much as they were, they've showed that fight. Now they regained the lead.
Wilson to the rack. Tip, no. Second tip, also off. Another offensive rebound to Farrell, and now a turnover into the hands of Winfrey. Knights need a bucket. Winfrey, the finish and the foul.
Richwoods needed a big answer there. Winfrey, chance for the three-point play here to cut this to 1.
Jamauri Winfrey up to 21 points. Chance to trim it down to a 1-point game with an old-fashioned 3. The senior finishes the play. He's got 22.
Matches the number on his jersey.
1:40 to go in overtime. Duran Traps picked up by Brewer. Traps with 8, the stripe. Easy for me to say.
Robertson's really stepped up big here in the second half.
Robertson, first free throw, in and out. It remains a 1-point game. Idius Robertson, slow start to this one in the first half, but really turned it on in the second half. One of the senior leaders for this Rams squad. He goes 0 for 2, and a loose ball foul sends it back to the Knights.
Chance for Richwoods to regain the lead.
Foul there. Against Farrell. Richwoods in the bonus. Winfrey was fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. The Knights' leading scorer, probably not who the Rams want at the free throw stripe. Winfrey to tie it, and he does. Brand new ball game, 58 all in OT.
Up to 23 points for Winfrey. The guy we keyed in on early before the game has really shown why he's a key player for the Knights.
To give him the lead, he does. Ice in the veins of Jamauri Winfrey. Rams push it. And Robertson's blocked. And a timeout taken by Richwoods. What a sequence.
Wow. Richwoods had a huge lead, then they lost the lead. Now they regained the lead. It's been back and forth, Larry. Both teams want this one.
One of the best games you will ever see in Peoria in the Big 12 Conference and perhaps the state of Illinois. A 21-point second half comeback for the Manual Rams. They trailed 21 points at the half and later in the third quarter as well. Roared back starting at the end of the third quarter and came back and tied the game with under 5 seconds left on a tip-in from Duran Traps. They had a shot for the win. They forced 2 turnovers with under 5 seconds to go. Cameron Causey got a tip shot off right at the buzzer. It was waved off after it looked like it fell for the win. And here we are in overtime. Richwoods back with a 1-point lead.
Just a crazy turn of events here. And now putting that pressure back on the Rams, who took that early 4-point lead here in overtime.
That'll be the Knights basketball out of the timeout. Carlos Beck will inbound. Playing with 4 fouls. He gets it into Brewer. Trying to fight through full court pressure. Beck slowed down. Hits it back to Brewer. Back to Beck. Almost a steal. Great ball movement for the Knights, and now they slow it down. No look pass. Brown from the paint drops it in.
Now a 3-point lead for Richwoods.
Traps walks it up. He's been clutch. Traps drives, kicks. Wilson inside, gets to the bucket and converts.
Nifty move there from Wilson, able to finish. See if the Rams can force a turnover. Richwood's going to want to protect this ball.
Brewer heaves it across to Winfrey. Winfrey inside, halfway down and out. Second chance, no. And it's out on the baseline off of Manuel. Under 30 seconds to go. Richwood's clinging to a 1-point lead. A three-pointer could be the dagger, but I don't think you take that gamble.
I don't think so either.
Back to the sideline, Jared Jackson, the sophomore, comes in. Getting some big minutes. Jackson gets it into Welch. Dribbles back out, nearly pickpocketed. He's in trouble. Brewer comes out with it. 22 seconds, and Jackson is fouled. And for Manuel, you probably like your chances there. Knowing your personnel, you put the pressure on the young man, Jared Jackson, sophomore, headed to the stripe, and a 1-point game in overtime.
Yeah, they did an elective foul right away, puts a lot of pressure on Richwoods. Now you put the pressure back on Richwoods to make their free throws.
Jackson with 2 points tonight. His first free throw goes down. His first trip to the line tonight. His second goes down. 3-point game.
Now if you're Manuel, you're thinking three. You get a quick basket.
Traps downhill, looking for Page. He gets it to him, and a timeout taken by Manuel. Willie Coleman wants to draw something up.
Yeah, 11 seconds left. Not a whole lot of time. If you're going to play for two, you're going to have to get to the basket quick. If you're going to play for the tie, you want to give yourself a good look.
This gym has seen a lot of good games over the years. This one, I'm sure, ranks among some of the best ones, with Richwoods squandering a 21-point second-half lead. Manuel scoring a bucket with under 5 seconds to go in regulation to tie it up for the first time since 0-0. Rams take their first lead of the game in overtime, now trailing by 3. Out of this timeout, John, if you're the Rams taking the 3 to tie, who takes it?
I like Donald Wilson, like Justin Page. A lot of different guys on that floor that are capable of hitting it, traps. But it all starts with getting that clean look. You know Richwood's going to put a lot of pressure on the Rams here, not give them an easy opportunity.
Traps, the only Ram who has hit more than one three-pointer tonight. Page has one, Wilson has one, Cameron Causey has one. And Traps has 2. From Farrell, no. Robertson puts it in. Timeout taken from Manuel. They're going to say that they need more time on the clock. I don't think they're going to get it. Under a second left. Willie Coleman can't believe how much time is left on the clock. They wanted the clock stopped earlier. I think they're going to add some time, John, as the lead is down to 1 for Richwoods. Manuel's going to need a similar sequence to what they had at the end of regulation to get the win here.
Yeah, with how much time, depending on what they put back on the clock, Larry, say it'd be 1.2, 1.5, maybe 2 seconds. It's not going to be a whole lot of time, but they would have to get that turnover right there under the basket. There's no way they can foul. You know, Richwood's missed a free throw and get it all the way on the other end, so they have to force a turnover there right under the basket if they're going to want to win this game.
We will see how much time is put on the clock after the timeout expires. And they're sticking with 8/10. That's all. Manuel needs a steal and a score.
It would have to be
1.5 now.
Okay, 1.5. So right on cue there. Still not a whole lot of time, Larry. You have to get that turnover on the inbounds. Even with the foul, you know you're going to burn a little bit of time off the clock there. Doesn't leave the Rams any type of window.
Coach Will Smith wants a quick word. He's satisfied. All Richwoods needs to do is inbound. Jackson will scan the floor. 2.5 to go. The chuck ahead. It's picked off.
He got a timeout.
And Manuel got a timeout in with 1/10 of a second remaining. That's not enough time to get a shot off.
No.
It's going to have to be a tip if Manual wants to win this game. We'll see if the officials put more time on the clock here, John, and it might be a possibility.
If they do get more time, then you leave a little bit more leeway for Manual to actually catch and shoot. But with .1, virtually no time to even hold the ball in your hands, it would have to just be a quick tip. Even then, that'd be tough to beat out. So the only thing right now, Larry, is if they add a little bit of time, Manual can heave a 3 for the win, but I think that might not be the case.
We will wait and see how much time is left on the clock. Manual needs a small miracle to get a shot for the win here. They will inbound from just across half court.
9.0?
That's got to be wrong. The crowd waving at the clock, and I think the officials know that's too much time, so they're going to fix it. I think they mean 9/10 of a second. That's enough time to get a shot off.
Well, this could, if the officials don't fix this on the inbound.
Absolute chaos inside Manual Academy
they're
right now.
It now.
Now 9 minutes.
9 minutes at least.
The plot thickens. Back to 9 seconds.
I think they're looking for the .9.
And now it's 9/10. Manual trying to overcome a 21-point second half deficit. Justin Page will inbound. Just under a second. Page, the lob up, the tip off, and Richwoods hangs on in overtime. Farrell can't hit it at the buzzer, and the Knights steal a road win at Manual. What a game.
Couldn't have drew up any better of a play there. Tough break for Manual. 2 chances to win it in the first, or I should say in the regulation and then in overtime, but
what a game. Richwood squanders a huge second half lead, but hangs on in overtime. And John, the first thought that comes to mind outside of the really clutch play from Richwoods down the stretch is you gotta hand it to Manual. What an effort in the second half. I was ready to completely write them off midway through this third quarter.
Well, just how they played. I mean, they turned the ball over a lot in the first half. Their offense wasn't clicking, but then a completely different Manual team in the second half. They really turned it on, forcing a lot of turnovers. Just 2 different teams out of the gate. And that Manual team in the second half that really turned up that defensive pressure, they didn't stop. I mean, they continued to pressure. Richwoods made it really challenging on them, made big plays down the stretch, and then an opportunity to win it in overtime after thinking they were out of it. Couldn't give it, any bigger of an applause to the Manual Rams.
An incredible game. Richwoods led by a 24-point effort from Jamauri Winfrey. So many clutch buckets from the senior down the stretch. Jalen Brown added 12. Jeremiah Welch had 11, 9 of which coming in the first half. Carlos Beck with 7. For Manual, Idius Robertson had 14 points. Carrion Farrell had 8. Justin Page had 11, and Donald Wilson had 11. A lot of guys stepping up for both sides. It's what you love to see in a high school basketball game. John, what looked like a blowout brewing in the first half turned out to just be an awesome, awesome game.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think watching that first half and not watching the game live, you look at the final score, you would think, yeah, this is the Manual Richwoods game we expected. We didn't know we were going to get a first half where Richwoods completely dominated, but Manual, they didn't go away. They came right back into this game. We almost saw another game-winning finish there, which we pretty much saw in the first, I should say at the end of regulation, which was waved off and almost had it again on a great lob pass from Justin Page. Just can't get it to go.
Cameron Causey had that tip just as time expired. at the end of the first, or rather at the end of the second half, but it was waved off and the Rams fall in overtime. Richwoods hangs on. That about does it from inside Manual Academy tonight. So far, our entire crew: Joey Wright at the controls, Gavin Russell, Rodrigo Perez, Jacob Steinberg, and Josh Schwam. And for my partner, John Camosa, this is Larry Larson. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, the final, Richwoods hangs on by 1 in overtime. So long, everybody.